Howdy folks, and welcome to another Taste of Gameplay video, this time for the British Tier 7 Premium Battleship, the Collingwood. As always, these videos are designed to give you a sample of the gameplay of the ship, not to be an exhaustive analysis. I recommend the Wargaming Wiki or other content creators. So, the Collingwood, the less well-known sibling of the Rodney and the Nelson, similar battleship to either of those two. Poor armor, only 6 guns. Pretty inaccurate guns, but it does have super heals and it has a main gun reload booster and a pretty good reload overall. I left in the beginning part of this video as you saw me navigating that tab menu. I think I'm going to look a few more up here because at this tier, well, really at any tier, but particularly at this tier, the overmatch mechanics are extremely important. I was watching a PQ potato quality video about the Collingwood before I started playing this because I hadn't played this ship in a long time. And he talks a lot about two things, the poor armor and the way the overmatch mechanics work at tier 7, and the inaccurate guns. And both of those will prove to be true here. This is going to be a good game. The Collingwood can be a frustrating ship, but at the end of the day, it actually does quite well. I'm going to end up getting over 100k in this game and have a lot of battle impact. And I'm not really sure exactly why that is, except just to say that the reload booster really is pretty powerful because you can pick your spots and really take advantage of it. It's kind of like having 12 or even 18 guns for a brief moment because you typically get 3 shots off during that reload booster. So, and the super heals mean that you tend to stay in the game a pretty long time. I don't really recommend playing this ship as a complete brawler. It doesn't have any secondaries. Well, it does, but they're not good, for example. But just, you know, playing at mid-range, picking your spots. Of course, it helps a ton that I'm going to get up-tiered in this game. I'm top tier is what I mean to say. So it's going to be tier 5, 6, and 7. There's an Omaha, for example, and he's eventually going to get caught out by me. But yeah, I'm playing fairly aggressively here, and it's because, again, I looked at the overmatch mechanics and I realized that the only two I really had to be super afraid of in this game are the Colorado and the Sinop. And I've seen them, they've both been spotted and they're on the other side of the map. Our CV did a good job of an initial spotting pass. It's so important in a carrier to just get a lay of the land for all of your teammates because it frees them up, the ones that know what they're doing anyway, to play so much more aggressively if they can. Anyway. Yeah, so the Collingwood. Can't say I recommend it over the Rodney or the Nelson necessarily. Oh, yeah, there we go. That poor Omaha. Well, I say that poor Omaha, but if you're playing in Omaha by now, you should know that that's a thing that can happen. So, yeah. Not a bad ship. Okay range for tier 7 on the guns. But yeah, it's mostly about that reload booster and that super heal. Super heal to keep you in the game, find your spots, find some broadsides, and use that reload booster. PQ played a game in the Collingwood, and he ends up with a crazy amount of damage, but he's frustrated the entire game because the guns keep trolling him, and they're going to troll me as well. But yeah. This game is going to be kind of a classic game where we just win this flank and we lose the other flank, but we don't lose the other flank by as much as the red team loses this flank, if that makes any sense. And I'm pushing pretty aggressively, but again, that's because I know who's over here and there just isn't anyone that I'm afraid of. And I'm also pretty confident that that Ranger player hasn't moved since the beginning of the game, meaning hasn't moved his hull. And so I would like to catch him out. I would love to sink that Ranger. Anyway, yeah, so only 6 guns, but they're all in the front, which means playing bow in like this can work really well as long as you know that nobody can overmatch you. So I believe it's only 26 in the front armor, and so that means For those who don't know the overmatch mechanics in World of Warships, you multiply by 14.3, which is a very hard number to do in your head, but it's something like 370 something, and essentially any guns under that, I act like a battleship, and there's all these mechanics that get involved, like angles. But anything above that, any guns above that caliber, they basically, if they hit me, they just penetrate all the armor, and they do pretty much maximum damage. It's really easy to citadel people through the bow, or at least get full pens. But yeah, so was headed for that La Argentina. My teammates sunk him for me, which is great. There is a hydro on the Collingwood, which is handy. That's come in handy already. The Moivne, not sure how to pronounce that. I guess it's French, so Moivne over here is not a great destroyer, so I'm not too scared of him. Yeah, there you go. There's that CV, the rare chance to get some revenge. And the Ranger is such an easy CV to Citadel. Has very poor armor. Anyway, up to 43k already, which is, you know, respectable already for tier 7. At this point, I'm a little torn about the Omaha. I know he's over there, but he solves the problem for me by shooting at me. I was prepared to potentially let him go and to just sail into the middle. I didn't really want to chase him into the corner of the map, but he solves the problem for me by firing. Now, of course, I'm a little torn. Do I shoot at the CV? I really want to, of course. I'd love to sink that CV, but I know that at any point the Omaha could stop shooting and go dark, and I really, really want to get him off my flank. The Omaha is kind of a meme ship because it's so easy to make explode, but that doesn't mean it's a bad ship. It has really good guns. That's the trade-off. So if you just let it sit there and pepper you, especially in a battleship, you're going to burn out. You absolutely will. I can't let him just sail around and shoot HE at me. I would die. So I'm not going to. Man, 210. I mean, come on, right? Come on. This is where it's good, though, that at least there's a pretty good reload on this boat. I probably would have used a reload booster here if I had one. Knowing when to use the reload booster is key, and I can't say that I'm particularly the best at it. Yes, I know real battleships don't watch explosions, but I had to make sure he was actually going to die. You'll notice something about this game. I keep dropping HP and then coming back up. I mean, that's those super heals, and I have quite a few of them. So can't remember if I get this kill. No, I don't get this kill. So only one kill so far, but we're up to 57k. I wouldn't say this game is over yet, but we definitely have a commanding lead, and it's just because we've totally crushed this flank, and they have kind of won the other flank, or at least pushed us back, but really the ships on my team on the other side are doing a good job of kiting. Yeah, this poor Sinop. You can't half go down the middle in Two Brothers. You have to really commit to this. He's trying to back away from this Toronto, and that's just not going to work. He's going to take a huge amount of damage from these torpedoes. And then I think we're going to take care of the rest. I can't remember if we get this kill. Well, he does take out the Toronto, so I guess mission accomplished, but he's in a bad spot now. But yeah, the armor on the Collingwood, not good, particularly in the bow and stern. Not even really good for the tier. Oh, I don't get that kill either. So yeah, it's kind of hard to know what to say about the Collingwood. I wouldn't say there is anything particularly special about it, but it does seem to turn in reasonably good games. I guess it's just like a lot of mid-tier battleships. It relies on positioning and finding broadsides. Well, I say that, but you know, in both my game and that potato quality game, there aren't a lot of citadels. I think I'm only going to get 1 or 2, and yet somehow I'm going to get 100k damage and the win. I don't know. I guess it's one of those stealth ships, just kind of sneaks up on you. Anyway, if you're interested in mid-tier battleships in particular, ironically, at tier 10 and 11, I actually don't think the overmatch mechanics are as important if you're in a battleship. They're more important if you're in a cruiser, but if you're in a mid-tier battleship, you really need to know what your armor is and then the guns of all the battleships in particular on the enemy team. Sometimes even the cruisers, especially if you get up tiered, like to tier 8 or 9. Luckily, Wargaming has put in a new screen. I'm sure you know this, where if you hit the tab key and then click on people, you can see all of their gun information in-game during the game. I'm going to blind fire into this smoke, and I am going to hit. I get 1 overpen on that destroyer. He's going to come out of his smoke, which is... I mean, if he didn't come out of his smoke, he was going to take those torpedoes, but... Yeah, this is kind of death. Ooh, rough. I think it's the next shot where I'm really gonna... I think I used my... Yeah, I used my reload booster there on him. Yeah, reload booster for the win, man. Yeah, it's really... It's a gimmick, but it's a remarkably effective one. And you see, even though I've been getting shot at all game, I think I'm up to 650,000 potential damage, but I'm still over half HP once this heal finishes. And I'm now at 77k damage, and yeah, now the game is definitely won. Normally, of course, pushing spawn, not a great idea. Mostly I did it in this game because I really wanted to take out the Ranger. Also, Two Brothers is a little bit different than most maps. Pushing spawn in Two Brothers doesn't really mean the same thing, just because the cross shots from the other side of the map are harder. Oh, yeah, Citadel on that DeGrasse. 94k. Can't remember if we get this kill. I don't think we do. I think we end with 2 kills and 100k. But anyway, yeah, the Collingwood, not a bad ship. You know, especially if you're a collector, if you really like the Rodney and the Nelson. The reload booster makes for some interesting highlights. It's a ship with a pretty good skill ceiling, so, you know, feels good when you do well in it. And the heal is good because it keeps you in the game, keeps things interesting. Can't say it's a particularly amazing ship, but, you know, I would say it's above average. Well, that dispersion, though. Man, look at that. Wow. It's really trolly. Yeah, so there you go. That's about all I have to say about that. I think this is a 1 badge, if I remember correctly. So, good game for me. Good game for me. I like these mid-tier battleships. But yeah, that's the Collingwood. So, I will see you guys in the next one.